Andrea's sitting in this week.
Hello, hello, hello.
Gratcast 122 Valentine's Day edition is underway, my lady.
Which is funny because you would think if we're doing a special Valentine's Day episode, we'd actually be doing it on Valentine's Day.
Well, we can't spend our Valentine's Day doing it. We're going to spend our Valentine's Day doing Valentine's Day stuff.
Like what?
And Wednesday is when the episode comes out on the audio, so Tuesday is the closest to Valentine's Day we can get and still give them their Gratcast before the day.
Okie dokie. There we go, everybody. So that is why we're doing it a little different than you would expect, but hey, welcome. We weren't here last night. We're here tonight.
No,
John's not here.
Yeah. John pulled another fast one on us. Apparently, he had an out-of-town visitor. I don't know if it was Valentine's Day related or not. We're going to have to find out next week.
Out-of-town visitors. That's awesome. That's always fun.
So he couldn't make it yesterday. And then, because Monday's his only free day that he doesn't work, he's right back at the grind today. So he couldn't do the rescheduled episode.
Pobrecito.
But it's Valentine's Day, Andrea. We needed you here instead. It was always meant to be this way. The universe just made it happen.
I'd like to point something out. Chris is in the pink shirt. He's a little more Valentine's-y than I am. I'm in the grays. I think we definitely have a role reversal.
Wait, you had a little purple vest going earlier.
Yeah, except it looked black.
Wardrobe apparently recalled it.
It looked black on screen, and that would have just been sad. So I decided gray is better, and it's also kind of chilly on the set. Got to be ready for the lights.
Uh-oh. We're getting little dingles. Oh, I'm on the sound effects here board, Andrea. We have we have all new sound effects since the last time I bombarded you.
Fantastic. Yeah! And this time I can actually hear it because I also have headphones. If everyone remembers, the original time back in, what was it, August, September when I had to sit in for John?
Your last sit-in, yep.
Yep, there were absolutely no headphones, so I couldn't hear when Chris was doing sounds.
That was my first time on the soundboard. I had to use every opportunity I could.
You were very feisty with it.
To rock the sound effects.
As I found out afterwards.
I will try and be as judicial as possible this week, honey, but we've got some good ones. Okie
dokie, well let's get going.
Well, the first sound effect we have to welcome every new host to is
What would you say you do here?
What would you say you do here?
I have people.
Do you have people skills, Andrew?
I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand it? What the hell is wrong with you people?
If you've got people skills, you'll last long around here.
That is good to know.
Okay, diving right in. Do you want to talk about your week first or my week first, even though they were kind of the same week, but from different angles?
Let's hear about your point of view for the week.
Okay. Well, one of the things I'm working on, Andrea, is we're going to start having regular guests now. We've been talking about this for a long time. We finally got the Grid Fam thing working. So give them a little pop-up here, Andrea. If you want to join the show at any point today and talk about your favorite Valentine's Days from Valentine's Day past, all you got to do is use that link and log in with your Twitter account. Oh, little eye scratch there. No install necessary. And you can jump right on. We'll get you in the box. And you can tell us about your favorite Valentine's Day past. But what I've been working on this week is trying to find guests for the podcast. We've got a couple lined up we're going to talk about. And I've been trying to get podcast appearances for you and I on different podcast shows and stuff.
Other people want to see us on their show. Are you kidding me?
I'm hoping so.
Wowzers.
So I signed up for a couple like trade host for guesting type of websites where you sign up on the list. They'll send you all sorts of podcasters who are looking for guests, what type of guests they're looking for, and you can submit to it. Then on the flip side, if you have a podcast, you can say what type of guests you're looking for.
Kind of like a barter system.
Yeah, basically.
So, I like those.
There were some cool ones that came in through there, and I found, and there was one for you, and there was another one for me that I submitted to, and all that. But you know what I found in there?
No. A treasure.
No, well, I mean, there may be a couple hidden treasures in there, but what I found is there's people trying to charge their guests to come on their podcast.
Wait. Okay, so it's the opposite of an appearance fee?
Yeah. So if it's like, let's say John wanted to appear on Gratcast, and we told John he'd have to pay us $250 to be our guest on Gratcast. We're charging our guests to show up on our show. So there's no integrity to that on any way or shape or form. It's not like anyone's on your show because you want to talk to them or you're interested in what they're doing or anything like that. They just threw you some money to pimp for them for an hour.
Okay, so my question is, Are these shows that have a huge audience?
No. Oh, no.
They've got 1 million followers because they're now a brand. They think they can charge you like you're a corporation.
I don't know if that's what the big
a
level...
paid ad in their mind.
I have no idea if that's what the big level ones do, but these were, like, I'd say... third rank down tiers, maybe a couple thousand followers, couple hundred listeners a week. Not a huge wide demographic, but like I mean, they weren't all $250 appearance fees. Some were like, oh, you got to pay us $50 to come on our show. Which the lower the amount is, the more grimier it is, if you ask me. It's just I don't know, it's in poor taste to have to pay myself onto the show so you'll talk to me.
And there's a site that allowed that. Like, as well as the bartering of, you can come on my show because I'm looking for this certain kind of people.
Well, it's not
or I'm looking to be on these certain kind of shows. This is what I offer. If you're looking for anyone, please come and find me. And then there's someone who's allowed to just post, like, the rando weird Craigslist ad of, you want someone to notice you? Pay me $300 and I'll interview you.
No, it's more subtle than that. Number one, it's not a direct barter system. Like, there's some people on there that are just looking to be guests on shows. Okay. So they're signing up on the list to find out podcasts that are looking. And there's on the flip side, there's just some that have registered as podcasts that are looking for guests. But there are situations where some people like us both do a show and would want to be on a show. So all they do is tell you the lead. So, oh, this show is looking for such and such a guest. If you want to submit to it, here's the email address. Or what I've found out is the telltale sign. If they say, oh, click on here to sign up to go and put your name in our calendar to appear on the show. Now you're not even being screened. You're just paying for your spot on the calendar to bookmark yourself. So if it redirects you to a calendar link, they're going to ask for a payment to be on the calendar.
That's creepy.
It's sad to me. It's lame. Like, if what you're doing isn't good enough to get a podcast to want to talk about your show, like now you're just paying to be there. That's like buying friends.
I'm more offended by the people who are offering that as a service for a fee. Like, they're getting content. They're getting the audience. They're getting a major benefit from interviewing someone. Isn't that what every reporter knows? Is you need to have someone to interview in order to have content. So...
And I'm pretty sure you're supposed to, but judging by the rules we just discovered on YouTube and that, you're supposed to like disclose if it's a paid sponsorship like that. Because the only reason you're talking about that person is because they paid to come on your show. So now it's a paid sponsorship. That's not even like a legitimate interview.
I mean, do the tabloids even do that? That's
tabloids usually pay you to come on for the story.
That's so weird.
Yeah, so that's what I learned on a podcast hunt. So if anyone wants to appear on our show, we are looking for guests. If anyone would like to have us on their show, we are available for lease, and we won't charge you. And you can't charge us either, because we're not paying.
Wonderful.
And next on my list is those guests that we have. So we start filling out our calendar. We're not making them pay for their spots, but we're filling it out. Monday.
Do you make them choose their own date, though? Like, I'm not even going to put in the effort to pick what day. Like, you have to do it.
So next Monday, the first truly official guest in the box is going to be Silver Padilla.
In the box.
Padilla, our favorite CEO of Esports Labs, and also one of Gratwick's board members.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Silver's going to be coming on telling us about...
he's going to be telling us about a tournament series that we're working on putting together. Apex Legends. That's the new game we've all been playing.
Well, we're doing the Super Asteroids. We got to try out the beta.
That's the mobile. That's their mobile app.
And that was like about a month ago. Yep, so they've been kind of getting all that fixed and worked out.
Yep, the mobile app is still going full steam ahead. He's obviously, when he joins us in the box, going to tell us a little bit more about the app.
And people win like prizes, like real stuff.
Whoa.
Like not imaginary stuff, like not virtual stuff.
You're letting some cats out of the bag here, dear. But
so they'll want to see it next week, right?
When Silver is in the box, he's ideally going to tell us.
He's in the box!
He's ideally going to tell us about some of the things that the new mobile app's going to do, including, hopefully, for our event on May 10th.
Oh, who's letting things out of bags?
Well, I'm now teasing.
Bags are opening left and right.
I'm teasing.
Confetti.
And then in 2 weeks, March 4th, we're going to have our first official in-studio guest.
In 2 weeks?
Yep. They can't do it the week before. So we still got to find a guest.
Isn't that 3 weeks from now?
All right, maybe it's 3 weeks from now, but...
You're getting me all sorts of confused.
March 4th, we're going to have our first official in-studio guest right here. He's probably going to sit in my chair, and me and John are going to go 3 dudes across. Do you want to know who it's going to be? Do you know who it is yet?
You and John are going to go 3 dudes across, huh?
Yeah.
I want to talk about that phrase first.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's all love.
It is all love. That is a lot of love.
Do you want to know who the third man in is going to be?
Yes, who is the third man in?
Kash Hovey, baby!
Fantastic!
We're going to get him in studio, on the show.
That's going to be fun.
Unfortunately, he's an Apple aficionado, and Grid Fam isn't fully operational with the Apple yet. So he just said, to hell with it, I'm coming in studio.
Wow, he's driving up to the studio Canyon.
Yeah. We're
exciting.
We're gonna have to do something with our wires set up here to be OSHA friendly, bringing in talent and stuff. But
I think it can be done. Just a little bit more rearranging. Not
Short week. We had to play on a Monday. All right, Andrea. Now, according to my list, it is on to Andrea's adventures. What kind of adventures did you have this week?
What adventures did we have this week? I went out into the city. I don't normally do that. I am a bit of a canyonite. I like to stay in the above grounds. But we went out to the city for Jeannie's birthday.
Oh, we did.
Jeannie Jones. Fantastic lady. Oh my gosh. We have to get her on the show if we can. That would be fantastic.
We sat at the table with now, see, I got this confused. I thought they were both Oscar nominees, but I think one of them's an Emmy nominee and one of them's an Oscar nominee.
They're both Emmy.
Oh, they're both Emmy. Okay.
Both Emmy nominated actors. And I believe one is a producer, one is an actor, or they're both producers, but only she was the actress also. I'm not quite sure the way that worked out.
I got that.
Oh, okay.
A couple that was also Jeannie's friends was at the table with us, and they were both the Emmy nominees. They're the first African-American couple to both be nominated for Emmys in the same award cycle. She was nominated for a Best Supporting Role in
Handmaid's Tale
Season 2. And he has a short that he wrote, produced, and directed. And I'm not sure, he might have acted in it as well. I'm not 100% sure on that. To be honest with you, I'm hoping that we're going to bring them through the rotation of guests coming up here in the near future, and we can get those details firsthand.
I do have his card. Unfortunately, I missed the whole story about who they were. So everyone was at this restaurant, and we kind of took over a section with one table, which then took into 2 of the big tall tables, and then there were some people who couldn't have room around the table, so I kind of just spread the group out, and we made a giant section of the room. But before everyone started talking about who they were and what they did, I decided
around the room session.
Yeah, I popped off to the bathroom, and apparently this is when the stories all got told about what people did, so I come back not knowing crap. And I just started talking to people instead. And as I'm talking to the couple, Kris goes, "Hey, these 2 were Emmy nominated." I'm like, well, that just made the conversation weird, because I was just having a fine conversation. Now I don't know what the heck we were talking about, because I'm a little, Handmaid's Tale, I love that show.
Somebody's got to brag on their behalf. Plus, I knew that you loved the show, so as soon as she told me,
that's even more. I
was like, I got to wait for Andrea to come back.
Okay, but who wants to fangirl out? Honestly, yes, she knows that's an awesome show, and she probably hears about it all the time, but no one wants that at a birthday party for someone else to suddenly be like normal conversation. Oh. And now I just want to know what
Jeannie was loving it. Jeannie wanted everybody to know what everybody did. That's why she made us go around the room and tell about herself.
That is her birthday. And that's the thing. If it's your birthday, you can have whatever you want on your birthday party. People have to play along. That's why we all do it. So she wanted us to all go around and say what we did.
She wanted her friends to network, and it's highly respectable and admirable, but boy, networking.
It kind of did get everything going for a little while. We were all laughing, happy, fun. Then she's like, "Okay, everybody, now we're gonna go around the circle."
It's like
and everyone just got quiet. We're
play date.
Okay, my name is this, and I do this, and thank you.
If I stumbled across dude and we started playing games, then we could be the best friends ever. But if you're you gotta go play with that kid, and it's a forced play date, now I'm gonna despise that kid forever. That's the kid his mom pushes on us. You know that kid.
I don't think I ever had a play date, but I did start babysitting about the time I'm guessing boys got play dates to have their parents not have to look after them after
Play dates
school.
came after our generation. Play dates originated because of the mom that always forced their kid into the group and was like, hey, little Bobby's got play too. Little Bobby and so they started circumventing that by just scheduling the play dates where you're playing with Bobby whether you like it or not, little bastard. That's how they sorted that all out.
Yeah, I think I did have that happen once when I was young, when we first moved to Iowa, and I shamefully decided to just cancel the plans. Like, I didn't let the parents know. I got a call from the girl's parents. Yeah.
The only thing I got for that is an airstrike.
Yeah, kids can be mean. But I learned from that. I did. Never do that again. Just be nice to everybody. Just be nice to everyone. Nothing wrong with that.
We're set to a play date.
That was our big adventure out of town.
Well, that was a big night out.
It was. For us, it was at least. Yeah. And we got a ticket.
Yeah, you can't rat us out. Oh, it's a rental car because the car's in the shop. But if they don't know that we've got the car, then you just rat us out. It's not documented.
It's always documented. Either way, so the night cost us a little extra than we thought.
Universal Nissan got a ticket.
Technically, when you rent the car, you have to pay for the ticket, and I believe they had that on the paperwork too. Like, you initialed it. Either way. So, the night went very well until we got a ticket. We were heading on home. That was a surprise. We went off down the block and then realized there was a ticket on the little windshield wiper thing. Should have just left it there and driven and just been like, didn't see it. Oh well. Could have at least had that as deniability.
Any other Andrea's adventures this week?
Started working on the electronic press kit, updating it a little bit, started looking into how we should be doing it with our upcoming plans in the spring. I'm not giving away any details.
No.
But we need to update our electronic press kit. So looked into doing that, starting to get information together. And our sponsor deck, we worked on that. And sponsor letters, which is different. Actually reaching out to companies and asking them for stuff. Even though it's not for us, it's to benefit Yanni, but still. Anyway, that is what I did, which kind of led into the Gratwick section, because it was all work mainly for Gratwick. Like, I find that I'm doing a lot more of that than much else.
Well, that's good. Before you get into Gratwick stuff, because that's our next section, I wanted to ask, we might need to start getting you your own little section.
Why?
Of grocery outlet finds of the week. Did you stumble across anything? Uh-oh, airstrike.
Airstrike, standing by.
What the fuck? That's how you cover up the planes. You make it sound like an airstrike. Plus, I bought you some time. Grocery outlet find of the week?
Grocery outlet find of the week. I found Kris these Hungry Man's. Hungry Man pockets that apparently are not the worst things in the entire world.
The pizza ones and the Philly steaks are great. The anything with the chicken in it is fire lava, and you can let it sit there for a half hour, and it's still scalding anything it touches.
They're kind of like Hot Pockets, but bigger.
Jumbo Hot Pockets.
Exactly. And Kris will eat them, so that's what I got him.
I got nothing for that.
Yep.
All right.
Whole lot of nada.
Well, the reason I brought it up, because I didn't know if there was anything good that excited you this week, because there was the infamous s'mores find of late 2018 that was the jackpot of all jackpots. Andrea cleared out the shelves. They haven't been back since.
Honey made s'mores cereal. Oh my god.
It was good.
Tastes like real s'mores.
All right.
Oh.
I'm going to get into the rundown on the show here today, dear. It's a real short rundown.
S'mores.
We got a couple little Gratcast Gratwick topics we're going to get into. I'm going to be scouting on a semi-pro league for probably some video broadcasting.
You're going to be whatting?
We'll get to that in the next thing. And we've got a waiting list that we've started for the event. Our main topic of the day is Valentine's Day. If you'd like to join the show and talk about past Valentine's Days, there we go. Past Valentine's Days, your favorite Valentine's Days, your big plans of the week. Emily, if you're watching, I expect you to join us in the box.
Siobhan,
And tell us about your Valentine's Day plans.
Now is the time. Put us on in the background. We'll just watch the kitchen. That's
Andrea
fine.
and I are going to share our top 5 favorite moments together. We've each got our own lists, so I'm excited to see if any of the same things made the list or not. And then
Kris brought up that topic, though, just so everyone knows. He came up with that topic. I am not the girly girl who's all... It's
a Valentine's Day topic. It's a great topic.
No, that was Kris.
Then we've got our bullet blitzes. And I've got a couple nice little Discord questions we've got the Discord questions, then the bullet blitzes.
I was going to say, you've got Discord questions for everyone else. That's a new way. Ladies, if you are watching, Kris has questions for you.
I've got a couple tricky bullet blitzes for you.
Tricky.
Unfortunately, we don't have our bullet blitz sound effect because John's not here, so I'm going to have to do it by hand. We're going to make that work. But let's dive into the Gratwick section first. Here, dear, you ready?
Do it.
Okay. So, 2 things on the agenda. The event and live broadcast, which we're always looking for opportunities to expand the live broadcast that we're doing. And Michael, one of the guys that helped us out when we did the American Warrior Festival.
Oh, you guys remember that, right?
A couple months ago.
I know you remember that because some of you guys were on. Yeah.
So actually, we're finally going to be rolling out some of the interviews and stuff that we shot from the American Warrior Festival. Andrea hosted
the separated interviews or in the actual event interviews?
All of it.
Oh, so you guys remember that? Kris had me walking around for like 3 hours. What was supposed to be just pre-interviews before it, and then we just set up the cameras and have it all be watched. Suddenly I'm handed a microphone, and he's like, go off and just talk to people while they're eating. Who does that? They're eating, and the other half were all drinking and definitely...
So...
Kaiser, wait, you see the Kaiser stuff.
So we've got a bunch of interviews from the filmmakers and producers of the content that was at the American Warrior Festival.
And Tim Colseri.
Dan is fine. Oh, we've got an awesome interview with Tim Colseri, who was the door gunner in, God damn, I forgot the stupid movie.
Apocalypse Now.
No, not Apocalypse Now. Why am I drawing Full Metal Jacket. Yeah. So he's the door gunner in Full Metal Jacket. But the crazy part is, he was actually originally cast as the sergeant, the drill instructor role that ended up going to Lee Emery. And Tim Colseri has an unbelievable story that I've been waiting to share this video that Andrea talked to him. She dragged an unbelievable story out of him that we're gonna get to share this week. And all of those interviews will slowly come out, and then we're gonna release the full American Warrior Festival video. Kyle's checking in on Twitch. Thanks for checking in there and jumping in the chat. Andrea's unfortunately not on the chat this week, so we're going to have to respond to any of the chat dialogue directly. We can see it here on screen. But yeah, so those interviews are coming out. But Michael, who helped us that night and ran the camera while Andrea was walking around with the mic, Michael was the one holding the camera. He's head media director for a semi-pro football team up in Palmdale.
Ooh.
And he asked me to come out there and help this Saturday, shoot some stuff for spring training and kind of scout the whole situation out for live broadcasts of their games come the fall when the season starts up.
So that is awesome in that respect, but I'm going to take a little side tangent. LA's been having rain. Lots of rain.
I got nothing for tangents.
I looked at our weather forecast. It's supposed to possibly rain Saturday. What do you do when it rains and you want to tape?
You wear a coat, rain jacket.
Talk about the equipment, yo.
Stand under an umbrella.
Really? That works?
Sure. Why wouldn't it work? Play football in the rain. Camera guy can stand in the rain.
I don't know.
But it's more of a scouting session anyway. He even volunteered to introduce me to the coach, the team, and all of that. So I'm pretty fired up about it. I miss being around the game, so this is a cool opportunity to dip my toe back into the football scene, and also do some good for the business.
If you were a poncho, I like that idea, Kyle. If you were a poncho, I totally want to get a picture of that. Like, Mike better take a picture. Ooh, are you going to set up your own tarp? I bet you could. Do you come that prepared?
I don't know what the situation is going to be like. I'll deal with it when I see the rain in the morning. You got to adjust on the fly here.
You know what you do need? The umbrella cap that we got for your mom when she was going to go down to Nicaragua.
The umbrella cap would be clutch for a camera person. And that thing was far bigger than I ever expected it to be. I thought it was just going to, shoulder circumference. But this thing was like out to here circumference.
Like you could have a buddy with you.
So that would be perfect for camera guy rain situation.
Ooh, there we go. We're going to have to show that one on a little link in the notes.
All right, Andrea, moving on. I want you to tell us about the waiting list and the event page on Facebook. I'm watered out.
Okay. We are going to be getting a waiting list going. As far as I knew, it hadn't yet started.
Oh, no. The waiting list has started. Absolutely.
Oh, no. The waiting list has begun.
Yes.
It is a first-come, first-served situation, people. So as soon as the tickets are available for our event, am I allowed to say the date?
The date of the event?
Yes.
The tickets will be available. No. Well, the date of the event is May 10th. The date the tickets are available is sometime in April.
Okie dokie.
They will be based on the waiting list.
Okay, but those who sign up first will be notified first so that you will be able to get your tickets before other people can, and we make them publicly available for everybody to go.
I gotta pull you over here.
Do it to it.
This is you're all
moving the desk?
You're all over the mark. All over the mark. The Facebook page. We have an event page set up for the event. A Night to Inspire. The Gratwick Productions Facebook page has the event page. If you go to the event page and click on tickets, it'll take you to the waiting list where you can add your email address or name to be the first to sign up for tickets once they become available.
Okay, so explain this. If you go to Gratwick Prod Inc. on Facebook.
Just look up Gratwick Productions on Facebook, and
Okay.
it'll take you to the company Facebook page, which hopefully you've already liked if you're watching Gratcast, because we are right here on the Gratwick Productions Facebook page. But if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, hop on over and look up that
search Gratwick Productions, and then you go to
keyword.
then you'll be on our company page, and then where does it have the link for the
there's little menu tabs, and so photos, videos, about, and then one will be events.
Okay.
So you click on events, and it'll show upcoming events for Gratcast.
Mm-hmm.
It'll also show past events, so the 100th episode of Gratcast will be on there in the list, and you can click on right into the event page and confirm that you're coming. Hit the checkbox. And
Do you have to say how many tickets you want?
No, not at this time. The way that tickets are going to be done is they're ideally going to be on a reward basis.
Rewards?
So if more than one person in your party plans on coming, hence a party, then you should put each email address in for the amount of people that plan on coming. If you want to just do it with one email for now, you can take your chances when it kind of comes up. Look at this like if you were getting ready to buy season tickets to the Bills and there was a waiting list and they were going to go down the waiting list order based on who signed up first to say, hey, do you want tickets? How many tickets do you want? That's basically how it's going to work. And mentioning Bills season tickets, I'm going to toss this out there in passing.
Passing?
Whoa. There's going to be some serious passing next season with Josh Allen and hopefully Antonio Brown. But we are giving away a pair of season tickets on the Night to Inspire event that you will be able to win for participating in our evening's games.
Would you be able to make a donation to Yanni for additional entries instead of playing the games? Like if you know you're not so great, or you just don't like playing video games, can you buy extra raffle tickets to be included?
Well,
For those of us who are not video game aficionados?
Well, it is going to be a mobile, easy-to-play game, which technically it's a one-button game, dear, and you have said one-button games
Joystick!
Are your buttons. You don't even need a joystick. It's just tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 tap.
Do you know that most
We can't talk much more about
don't
that
recognize
until
female
Silver's on there
hands
next week.
because we don't bang on our phones?
Because you
and
got the big
ruin it?
nails that clack on the
See?
screen.
And they don't
instead.
recognize. So how am I going to win a game if it's thinking that I'm double tapping because I got nails too?
Then
See?
you better bring a relief tapper with their nails trimmed.
All right, that's not the coolest. I don't like that.
So yes, the waiting list. We will share it on Twitter. We'll share it on Instagram after the show. But it is on the Facebook event page. Jump on it. Sign in there now. Little by little, we're going to start rolling out details in the event page. I am just terrible on sound effects today. So let's get Magic
Oh,
Blast
heaven forbid.
Yeah, we need sound effects, dear. Makes it the show so much more cheeky. Anything else to add on the event page and waiting list?
Go to Facebook, like the page, follow. We'll let you guys know what's going on as we keep updating it. That would be the easiest way besides having to check out the show every Monday. You can actually know what's going on day by day, because that's one of the things we wind up doing anyway. Although our company wants to be transparent, we do it naturally. We don't even think about it. Kris is over there just updating everyone without even, oh yeah, maybe we could hold it off for Monday as a big news. Nope, told everyone. So we'll be sure to let you know before it's even news on the show.
Yes, little by little, we're going to keep adding stuff to the event page that shares all the details, the things that are going on. Moving on to our next topic. It's officially the Gratcast section of the Valentine's Day section of the show here. Once again, point it out there, point it. There we go. If you want to join the show, just jump in there and use your Twitter login. It works best from Chrome on an Android voice. No.
Oh, Kyle doesn't get to talk about his fancy Valentine's Day?
Kyle is another Apple aficionado. If Kyle comes to jump in, it's not going to work correctly, and it's going to be a bad demonstration.
Okay, sorry everyone. If you have an iPhone or a MacBook, apparently...
This is strictly reserved for Androids, PCs, Google Chrome browser users. For now, it'll be expanded over time.
Wait, on your iPhone, can you use a Google Chrome browser?
No, dear, it doesn't work. Stop pointing out all the flaws here. we're slowly rolling out the Grid fam. It'll improve. So moving on to Valentine's Day. If you have a story from a funny past favorite Valentine's Day you'd like to share, if you got plans for tomorrow, or
2 days from now,
Wednesday. Well, Wednesday's when the show comes out. Tomorrow from that Wednesday will be Thursday.
If you have plans for Valentine's Day.
Yes. Thanks for bailing me out there, dear. Jump into the show.
Make us jealous. And tell us what you're doing.
Tell us what you're doing.
I'd like to ooh and ah someone else's plans.
So,
sounds nice.
It is time.
A lot of effort.
It is time to get into the nitty gritty here, dear.
Oh, Scott Rogowski in it.
The countdown of the top 5 favorite moments between the Cran relationship. Bringing it back, the Cran, dear. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second? I will give you the option.
I will go second.
Okay. Did you put yours in order of preference?
No.
Building up to a number 1?
Nope.
Oh, I certainly
Absolutely did not. No.
All right.
Oh, wow. You even put it in. Wow.
Okay, so let's do it this way. If I say one, seeing how I'm going first, that is on your list.
I can say me too.
Then don't hashtag me too. just say.
I concur.
Yes.
I concur. All right.
I don't want the memory to turn ugly when people are thinking you're me too in my memories.
I was claiming something early.
So, starting with that situation, hopefully there was no Me Too in your memory here, but the number 5 on my list is the Vegas trip where we ate at the Paris Hotel and got the suite, the VIP lounge up on the top of the Rio.
I concur. It wasn't so much about the Rio, though. It was about the Eiffel Tower restaurant in the Paris casino.
Yeah.
Like, that was... But the best part about that night was that you had to get new shoes. Because the night before, you had your guy friends stay in the casino hotel room with us. And they all crashed all over the floor and everywhere. It was like Joe, Bernie. Joe took your shoes.
Yep, the big boys.
The guys came and they all had, like, for some reason they were in town and they had, like, nice dress-up shoes with them. Also, what they had been doing, like, it wasn't a wedding.
No, I don't know.
It wasn't the wedding.
I think we went to a club or something. They had to wear slacks and... They
went out separately, and then they met us afterwards and needed somewhere to stay. So they came and crashed in our room late that night, and they left early in the morning. Yeah. They didn't want to turn on the lights, but they thought they had all their stuff near them. Joe didn't realize that Kris's shoes were exactly like his shoes, so we're getting ready to go out. Chris is all
packed his shoes.
He actually has a nice, like, slacks, nice outfit, and then he realizes the shoes he's trying to put on are too small. Like, way too small. Way too freaking small. And then he does a little, calls up everyone, finds out, oh yeah, Joe's got your shoes. Yep, took the wrong shoes, ha 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 ha. We had to go down to the hotel lobby, and Chris had to try and find men's dress shoes. And what they had, I wish we had them.
Were the ugliest. The only thing I can
They had rhinestones on them.
The only thing I can call them is Chris Angel shoes. They're these big tugboat because they had
leather, like
flat square front end
with like the seam on the top though, not underneath, like a loaferish kind of thing.
And they had a total.
It wasn't like a cross, but it was.
It was a total emo cross that was in the
rhinestone beads.
Yeah, these things. The only thing.
And they were the only ones in your size. Yeah. That was the best part. Is they had tennis shoes, but they didn't have anything else that was black shoes in his size.
And they had no treads or anything on the bottom of them. They were just straight bald. Oh, they hurt. Yeah, because it felt like I was walking on plywood. Oh, yeah, those things were the worst. But the weekend was, or the trip was amazing, and
the restaurant was fantastic. And I actually like when you have to go to a restaurant and they tell you ahead of time, you got to order your dessert now if you're going to have it, because it's going to be a good one.
Honorable mention for me on the list is any of the times we've done our little Pie Gal stomp late at night, and we've bounced from
in Vegas,
casino all the way up and down and back.
Which is been a while.
That's one of my favorite activities with you to do. When
we're doing well. When the tables are on our sides and the dealers don't change the moment we join a table, and it's like kill everyone's momentum. You join a table where everyone's laughing and having fun, then
it's always good to be doing well. But as long as we're not playing for blood money, just the walk from casino to casino late at night when not a lot of people are around is I always like that, because we only go on the weekdays. We don't go to Vegas on weekends. That's amateur hour. If it's not a Tuesday through Thursday special, usually with free rooms.
And it's no longer fun when they put the resort fee on there. Yeah. Like the moment they started doing that, I think that we went.
It's not a free room if I got to pay a $30 resort fee. Now it's just a $30 room.
And it doesn't cover the pool, the gym, the spa, the actual things that if you're going to spend $40, no, we'll spend it on that. Like, okay, let me use it. All right.
I'm going to throw a curveball here, actually.
No, it's my turn to pick one now.
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so why are you... What curveball are you throwing? Don't throw.
All right.
No throwing stuff.
So was that on your list?
Yes. Oh. I said I concur.
Oh, I didn't know if you just said that's a good one or not.
That's a concurrence.
All right.
I knock. All right, so my next one was getting there.
That too is on my list. I had that as number 3 ranked.
That was a fantastic trip up to Bakersfield, and a fantastic ride home, even though it was raining, which was unusual. But if you think about it, now that it's raining in January, February, it was the week before Christmas. So it was the end of December, kind of the beginning of LA's rainy season. A perfect $30 investment.
Yes. Bear is the 3rd greatest thing that we've done in our relationship, and he's been a gift that keeps on giving every single day.
3rd greatest thing?
Yep.
Greatest thing we've ever bought?
Oh, far and away.
I don't know. I think he's more important than your PlayStation.
I said by far and away he was the best thing we bought. I concurred.
3rd greatest.
Concur. Okay, so moving on to mine. My 40th birthday weekend. The dinner, the time, the side experiences, all wonderful memories that I cherish.
Why don't you share with everyone what we did for your 40th weekend? It wasn't just us.
Right. No, but like you being there, and the times we stole together over the weekend were what made it super special. So my mom, my sister, my brother, my cousins, and my cousin-in-law all came in to celebrate my 40th birthday together.
Flew in from the East Coast.
Yes, flew in from the East Coast. We Airbnb'd it all weekend. We got a sweet freaking like loft type of what would you even call that? Was that just a loft?
A loft apartment.
Okay, we got a sweet big party loft.
Think of like the movie Big, how like almost that big. without the gigantic
big ping pong table,
no privacy windows.
Had a big ping pong table in the middle and all that. Big bar in there and all that. So we
bars.
We got that for the first night.
And then we went out for Dine LA?
Yeah,
and we went up to the big restaurant at the top where we had the view over the whole city.
Middle of downtown LA. It's a restaurant on the top of one of the towers. And
we got our own private room.
That is what I never in a million years saw coming and never expected. When we walked into that room and I realized that it was all for us, it was just my mouth dropped. And as far as I know, that you did that and set that up, and that was awesome.
I found they were one of the ones that if you had a large enough party, they kind of had to give you your own private room. So that was one of the bigger reasons too that we went there.
We got Boss Kelly checking in on YouTube.
Hello, Kelly.
Andrea's editing buddy that she's working on his project right now.
Yeah. Am I allowed to say your real name?
Her alter ego is the editing muse.
Yes. I'm working on his book. I think everyone will be very excited to read it soon. I don't know how much details he wants me to tell you, but it's a good one. I like it.
So, was my 40th birthday on your list?
Nope.
Oh. We've got a deviation.
That was for you, that was a top 5 moment. That was a great time.
I'm excited to hear the ones I forgot.
I like our off-season weekend at Catalina Island where we had a hotel entirely to ourselves.
Damn. That was number 2 on my list. Number 2 was the weekend in Catalina Island.
So we went, I think it was like the end of October or in November.
Off-season, because again, we don't...
Big time off-season. Like, you could take the ferry, I think it was like for free at that point. Like, they were begging people.
We got a package where the ferry was included with our little
stay at this small hotel, which I believe was actually once a house that was broken into like hotel rooms kind of thing.
That was the smallest hotel room I've ever seen in my entire life. The door hit the bed.
It did.
Yeah.
It definitely did. It was funny. It was as if you were on a ship. Like what you would expect, what you see like the cruises, how literally there's just enough room to walk around the bed, but you kind of have to turn on the side to get around it. But no one else was staying. And the person who did the check-in every day lived down the block. So they weren't expecting anyone else. And she's just like, I'm just going to, like, lock up. Your key opens the front door, and if you need anything, here's my cell number. Otherwise, you guys have the whole place to yourself.
In the fridge for make your own continental breakfast. You got the whole place to yourself for a couple days.
Like, no one else is expected. Have fun. Have at it.
So the bed was in a closet, but...
But we had a whole upstairs roof deck area.
Roofs. Oh, it was 2 roofs. Remember, it was the one that was enclosed.
And then there was the one on top
with
where
the grill
there was the table and the grill where we could... Yeah. It was very nice. I gotta say, off-season is a wonderful time to visit places.
2 shout-outs on the Catalina Island. One is the golf course for $1 beer and $1 taco happy hour.
Yes, there's a tiny, like a bar that's literally like a triangle at the edge of the golf course. That is the one you want to go to. It is very fun.
And then buffalo milk is the drink of choice on the island. It is awesome. It's like it's.
Did you drink it?
Oh yeah, it's not. I don't remember. It's not actual buffalo milk. It's. I would put it in the.
Is that a brand name?
I would put it in the White Russian family, but it's got a little.
Liquor?
No, not paprika, but like not cinnamon. But what's the seasoning that you can put on stuff that's kind of like light?
Cilantro?
No, light and fluffy and brown kind of colorish. But
not cinnamon.
But not cinnamon. It's something along those.
Anybody? Anybody?
Not paprika.
Hey Siobhan, how you doing? I know Bear is number 1.
It's not paprika, but it was something like that. But anyway, they make buffalo milk. It's got bananas in it too. It's super good. It's in the right Russian family because you're just basically drinking a milk.
Is it a mixed drink you're talking about?
Yes, I thought you were
nutmeg. Siobhan, yes.
Nutmeg, yes. It's like a banana milk nutmeg liquor drink.
Oh, banana milk, sir, banana.
It's so good.
Sir Bananas.
And speaking of
Screw
buffaloes,
buffalo milk, Sir Bananas.
one of the
You guys had
coolest
that?
one of the coolest things about Catalina Island is it's got kind of a Jurassic Park setup. The middle of the park is fenced off as a nature preserve that you can take tours through and all of that. But in the middle of the nature preserve is a herd of wild buffalo, the last herd of wild buffalo, as far as I know, in the country, that was brought there in the 1930s for a big epic movie shoot, and they just left the buffalo on the island when they were done with the shoot.
I gotta say, that is the weirdest way to decide that you're gonna transplant an animal. We're gonna shoot with you for a few months and then just leave you. We're pretty sure you're gonna survive just fine.
You guys are here now. So, Bear is number 2, or was number 3 on my list. The Catalina Island trip was slightly above Bear. And okay, so back to you. What do you have on your list?
Back to me. I have the first weekend we went to Big Bear.
Oh.
We were going there for
weekend.
our film festival, and we wound up staying at a Super 8 because we didn't think for some reason that Big Bear was going to be very packed until we realized they were having Oktoberfest. And the hotel we got was a lovely Super 8 right across the street from the Oktoberfest. And that was the night when, at the party that they had at the film festival, to be able to meet everyone and do that networking kind of stuff, one of the local people told us about how people drive off the roads because they get snowy and they're all curvy. And how people will go around each other thinking that they're all badass and I can take it because I'm a local. And someone did that to her one time and she saw tail lights just go off the side of the road and she was like, good riddance.
You can't beat a good fall trip to Big Bear.
Very, very nice. Luckily we were there before it snowed. So we didn't have to get changed. That was a huge warning. That get out of here before.
It did snow pretty hard that one night, though. Remember? Because we were all standing outside.
Oh yeah, that's when they were talking about the story about people assuming you don't need the chains when you're told you do. Yeah, very exciting. So that was another one of my top moments.
Number 1 on my list is going to probably be mostly kept personal, but I will allow Andrea to share what she would like to share in her terms. Number 1 on my list is the night we spent in Utah together. Andrea broke down in Utah, and I had to come rescue her, and we spent the night in this cool little basement apartment room place, and it was early in our relationship, and I don't think Andrea expected me to come see her and get her broken down car, but I like that place that we stayed at. It was a cool little apartment. And
if we're talking about the place itself and not the situation surrounding,
Andrew doesn't like Utah.
I do not like that state. Nope.
But that was like,
I'm sorry if anyone else does, and I have friends who go there to snowboard and whatnot, and I know a lot of the film industry thinks it's super cool.
I've always wanted to go back for my birthday weekend because my birthday weekend is always the same weekend that Sundance is. But Andrea's a bit traumatized.
Oh, I don't mind. You can go by yourself. You can go with everyone else. I will FaceTime you while you're there.
This place was like in the middle of nowhere. And it wasn't like a house or anything, but I don't know. It was this was before Airbnb.
Like a building, like an actual downtown building that was converted into, I think it was supposed to be apartments, but then they turned it into a hotel instead. Yeah. And it was, like, honestly, I thought it was the coolest room ever, but the circumstances around it totally ruined the fun of the awesomeness of the place. Like, it was a literal apartment.
Yeah,
I walked in,
first apartment,
and there was a living room. And then there was a kitchen with, like, full food. Weirdly enough, food in the cupboards and, like, dishes and silverware. And then you walked down a hallway and there was a full-size bathroom. And then you walked even further and there was, like, a full bedroom. Like, full bedroom. Almost as if you were in your parents' spare bedroom where you actually have furniture and it looks like someone's homemade crocheted blanket. And it was an incredibly, incredibly cool place. It was just, I don't like Utah. I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
Ever.
Is there any others on your?
Sorry.
We've knocked off my entire list. Is there any left on your list?
I do.
Ooh, what do you got?
I do. So we went to Six Flags, and it's only like 45 minutes away from when we lived in North Hollywood as opposed to us living in Canyon. But we went to Six Flags and actually stayed in a hotel.
Oh, that night, yeah.
I thought that was freaking hilarious. Like, it was a full-on surprise. Just,
yeah, that was your
hey, you wanted to go to Six Flags?
You and John have been throwing me under the bus for months about not giving you a gift better than the stupid NSYNC tickets you got when you were 9 years old, but the surprise trip to the hotel stay and Six Flags.
No, it really wasn't, but that's cool. I like that.
What?
But it wasn't around that time. It was a weird off time again. We don't do things on actual days. I don't do things on my birthday.
April's off season.
I get in trouble on my birthday. I got in trouble in school all the way from beginning of elementary school all the way through high school on my birthday. I don't do stuff on my birthday, so I don't get in trouble. It hurts my feelings. Makes me not like my birthday, so I don't do anything.
This is also why we're not doing anything for Valentine's Day either, because I keep throwing out ideas, and Andrea just wants to relax. We
can do it anytime. Honestly, do I need to pay 3 times as much for doing it on a day that people who feel they have to show each other they love each other?
I am the
romantic.
We've
been together for how long?
I am the romantic in the relationship.
Yep.
I need candlelight dinners, little romantic settings, some rose petals leading a path to the bed, some of those things. I need romance, dear. Throw me some romance.
Yeah,
sweep me off my feet.
He's kind of high maintenance like that, and I don't know why, but I don't play that game.
One of my favorite songs is Bryan Adams' "Everything I Do for You." Gotta have romance, dear.
Okay. Cool.
So, anything else on your list that we haven't?
Nope, because we both had the Eiffel Tower one.
That was.
And we both had Getting Bear.
We had 3. We had 3 matches.
Did you? Oh, you did have Catalina.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So Big Bear Weekend and Six Flags.
Yep.
And what are the other 2 that you had?
Utah and.
Was there another one?
No, there was 2. We each had 2 different ones.
Yeah, I'm asking what the other different one was.
I switched my lists. Damn it! Now you're hanging me out to dry here, and it's now mixed in. It's now mixed in with all the other things. My birthday weekend.
There we go.
There it is, my birthday weekend. Yep. All right.
All right.
So, moving on, it is time for Discord questions.
All right. So our first one, we have 2. We have. Do you want a topic or do you want a question?
These are Discord questions.
Yes. Don't play with me, man. All right, then we'll start with the question, and then we'll get on to the topic, because it might be a little...
Discord topics?
So, Siobhan asks, when starting up Gratwick, how much support did you receive emotionally, not financially? Did you get a lot of people saying things like, when you decide to get a real job, or how long are you going to be doing this, from family and friends?
There was definitely a lot of people who thought it was a fad, who thought it was, because it came shortly after Kris said he was a poker player, so it definitely seemed like I was just throwing darts at the wall, and I don't think anyone had ever seen me really go after anything before, so there was a lot of skepticism, a lot of that came over the period of time, a lot of why don't you get a real job and stuff like that. But there was a lot of blind support, a lot of like, I don't know what you're trying to do, and I don't know if you can do it, but you seem to think you can, so okay, I'll believe you can do it until I see otherwise. What about you, dear?
Well, I don't think my family actually ever didn't support it. They kind of assumed that since I was moving out here from the Midwest and I went to school for it, and this is what I've talked about since I was like 12, like obsessively talked about wanting to do, that it was just normal. It would have probably been more discussed if I didn't try. Like if I came out here and just got a normal job. if I just did what I could have done back home, they would have definitely wondered what was up.
Can you get a normal job in Iowa?
That's all there are.
There's jobs in Iowa?
There's lots of jobs in Iowa. If you want to work for, like, Nationwide Insurance. If you want an office job where you're literally at a cubicle, or if you want to be a farmer, you know, there are, or a teacher.
I think if I had to live in and have a job in Iowa, I think I would want it to be a farmer. Like, if I'm there anyway, I'd, like, be out on the farm, out in the open, and all of that. Like, if you're going to do a desk job, why do a desk job in Iowa? Do you know how much
work that is? Oh, my God, and it's so early, and it's so late, and it's so physically intense. Yeah, and you have no control over the outcome because the weather affects everything. And
I wouldn't want to
be putting pesticides on his field.
Let me correct that.
It goes into your groundwater.
I wouldn't want to be a ranch hand on somebody else's farm, but if it was my own farm, I would, you know. But Favre runs a farm. It's a huge farm. He's got it.
He runs it?
Yeah.
Really?
He's out there in the mower.
He's got people.
No, he mows the farm.
He mows the farm.
Yeah. Whatever.
Oh, if there's any farmers out there right now... Now you know the crop. You're hoping Kris does not come out and buy the land next to you. You have no idea what's going to be happening.
Yeah, because a couple months I was selling it to the neighbor cheap.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
So, yes,
right.
my family didn't actually have that. Or is this just a small thing? Or I think actually they are incredibly patient. I'm very lucky that they understand everything takes a while and life is a process. So if I give up now, then what else am I going to do with myself?
Are definitely an anomaly in the best way possible.
My parents are awesome. They are very cool. Very cool. They don't expect much, but they expect you to be honest. And that's all. Not too bad.
They're an anomaly.
Everyone should have parents like mine. I will loan them to you guys if you want. They'll be here a couple weeks during the summer. We'll see if we can get one of them on the show. I bet they won't. They do not.
Oh, your dad! I bet I can get your dad on an episode of Gratcast. Now we got a set. Oh, that'd be great.
That would be funny.
All right.
He likes Pinterest. Just so you guys know.
Her dad found memes once he was forced to get a cell phone. He found memes, and it's the greatest thing I ever watched him on the couch skimming through memes.
My parents don't have cable TV. They have 3 channels because they still live in the country and they don't want to get a dish. So they don't have cable. They don't have internet. They just got a cell phone, and so that is their only way of doing that. And Dad has heard of the YouTube, the Instagram, and the Pinterest. And he thinks memes are funny, and he likes looking at pictures of people who are like bodybuilders and the funny things that people say about it, especially gym pictures. He will show you those all day long. All day long.
If I could,
he doesn't expect much.
If I could manufacture a moment in history, it would be your dad explaining what memes are to my grandfather. That would be the greatest conversation in the history of humanity. Without a doubt.
That would have been awesome.
All right, dear. Any other Discord questions?
Yes. So, BAFTA, the British Film and Television Awards, suspended or rescinded the nomination of Bryan Singer for Bohemian Rhapsody. That is our topic right now. How do we feel about that? Do we think that is right? Are we happy about that? How do we... Well, what are our thoughts on that? I'll let you have your thoughts first, because I kind of told you mine. If you steal mine, I'll bite you.
I think this dude's the crown jewel of the dam breaking. Like, you want accountability in Hollywood, and you want to bring down the monsters. The arrogance and the amount of the establishment surrounding this guy, protecting him, is unprecedented on this. And that just says what's behind him and all of that if you take him down. This whole thing with Red Sonja, where they at the height of when the Me Too movement was going on and he had accusations against, they like defiantly, after he got fired from Bohemian Rhapsody, made a big deal at Millennium about, hey, we're bringing in Bryan Singer. Like, it was a deal for them that, oh, he's got time now to do our movie. a movie about a female superhero or a female heroine, and you bring this scumbag in to direct this at the worst timing possible, and just say defiantly to everybody, I don't care what you say, you're not going to affect our decisions, and go on with it. Then he gets accused again multiple times, and it's blown out and all of this thing, and you stand by him still, and now finally enough heat has come down on all of this that it's coming to a head that you're like, oh, we're gonna put Red Sonja on the back burner. Not we're gonna go in a completely different direction, and we knew that we screwed up in the first place, and really, back burner? Like, you're still gonna try and force him to direct this movie? There's not a single female director out there that can do Red Sonja that you can go after and you can get to try to save face with this. If I see Millennium on another film, I will never watch it again. These people are scumbags.
Banned. They are banned. There you go.
The defiancy and arrogance at which they went and picked him up at the timing of what they did, to me, was sending a message loud and clear. We don't give a damn about
this. But they were
film.
tired of it.
No, that we don't get this movement, none of this stuff. It's all a joke to us, and we're going to show you who's really in charge.
Well, I mean, that's one way to look at it. I was thinking on the BAFTA side about their part of it, and honestly, I don't like the fact that he even got nominated. I think he shouldn't have in the first place because he was fired. Someone else actually had to go in and do the job correctly. Even the actors talked about it. Like, that's a whole different thing when people on set talk about the issues of why someone is fired. You're out. How could he get nominated for something? He didn't even complete the work. Someone else had to go in and fix it. That person, the uncredited person, who because of Bryan Singer's fucking sneaky little contract, he gets credit even when someone else did the work. That person who actually did the work should have gotten nominated. Like, I think that's exactly perfect. That it should have been rescinded, but not even for the reasons of the sexual allegations. Just, it wasn't your frickin' work, dude. You don't get to take claim for other people's jobs.
There's just so much around him that stinks, and it just seems like he's the entry path to a whole deep, dark, seedy world of monsters.
Well, there you go. Everybody's watching everyone's associated with Mr. Singer.
What do we got next on the Discord question?
That would be it. That was the topic. That was the end. I know. Not very Valentine's Day.
All right, dear. Let's blitz through these bullet blitzes and
blitz the bullets.
Yep, and bring these things in for a landing. You're gonna go first. I'm gonna give you your sound effect.
That's my sound effect.
That's not a gunshot. That's a laser gun. That's not a gunshot.
Okay,
These aren't laser blitzes.
On February 12th, 1985, Carmela Vitale of Dix Hills, New York, received a patent for a plastic three-legged tripod that sits in the pizza box,
in other words, known as
keeping the
pizza
top
table,
from falling down into your cheesy toppings. What small little patent do you wish you had actually come up with?
This woman deserves a Nobel Prize. Do you know
a Nobel Prize?
Do you know the amount of pizzas she saved?
All of them. All of them. And it only cost everyone like an extra 15 cents added to your bill. So it isn't really that bad, but she's banking. Oh, and you can use it for little furniture, for little...
So let me ask you this. If I'm selling you a pizza and I tell you you have two options. You can pay it for this price and I will mash my hand down on the top of the box and make all the pizza stick to the lid. Or you can pay me an extra quarter and I'll put a little pizza on table in there and I won't be able to mash my hand down on the top of the box. Which one are you taking?
Oh, I'm taking the little pizza tray thing too. Besides, you can put your little dipping sauce. You know how like Papa John's gives you the garlicky butter sauce? You can put it right on there and it's a little tray for it. Ta-da! But the question was, what would you have liked to have made? If you could have made something just small that people use all like often, so you bank, but people don't even think about it, what would your little patent be? I can go first if you like.
Digitally, it would have been a little idea I once called 8-Second World before Vine came along. Years after 8-Second World I tried to make and ultimately become a billion-dollar idea. That would have been a nice one to have.
That would have been a nice one.
Other than that, the bendy straw would be a one that there's probably a legacy of people that are filthy rich off the bendy straw.
I like the cup holder. The hot cup sleeve thing that you put around your cups and people don't even think about, but they are super important, and believe me, you get a hot drink, that you're totally asking for one of those.
Cardboard sleeve.
Yep. Multiple sizes.
That is a good one.
I wish I would have come up with that one.
All right, dear.
Oh, could have been banking. Banking.
There's a big movement underway, and rightfully so, to offer and push for more opportunities for women in the entertainment industry. How do you feel about crew position ads that specifically request only females?
Two sides to it. It's a little creepy. Just a little creepy because if anyone in LA has ever been on Craigslist and looked under the gig/talent section, usually when it says female only,
I want a purty editor with real perky boobies.
And has to be open to a relationship with the producer. It's got some weird requests usually when it comes to a female-only request. Or at least it has in the past. So that might be why it gives a bit of a apprehensive feeling in my chest. Kind of like fear. That's a good word. Fear. Over what you might be answering because you really don't know what you're getting into. But I will say that there are some times when, just like with a doctor, you only want to be around other people of the same sex when dealing with some stuff. Certain documentaries, it makes sense to only have other female members of crew around because you're dealing with things that might be a certain content that is going to make everyone uncomfortable. That's one way of doing it. Another way is if you look at it like funding options. People don't like that you're going to bring that up, but there are grants specifically made for companies that are willing to hire women. And it's just like when minorities were being introduced to the workforce and there were benefits to if you hired a minority over if you hired middle-aged white guy.
Let me give you a more specific example. This question is based on something that happened today in one of the Facebook groups for gigs in the entertainment industry. And it's something I've seen happen numerous times before. I may or may have not sparked it on numerous occasions. So somebody will post in there, I'm looking for a female editor. And they're all looking for submissions and all of that. Now, what would happen if somebody put in there, I want a male editor? Everyone's going to complain, and they're going to be upset, and
it's implied.
But
it's implied. That's the problem. Is you don't understand that when the normal ad comes out, it is implied that I'm looking for an editor. I'm looking for a male editor. I'm looking for an editor with experience. I'm looking for a male editor with experience. It's an implied answer because
gender should never be implied. Number one. Number two, if it's wrong to specifically say I want only a male editor, it should be equally wrong to say I only want a female editor. You should be looking to hire an editor. It makes no sense to me why this whole era of PC culture finds it bad to discriminate only when you're the one being discriminated against. But when the roles flipped and you're the one benefiting from discrimination, suddenly it's okay or it's all about equality. That's not how you make things equal, is reversing the power position. If it's wrong to hire somebody based on gender and too many men are being given opportunities based on their gender, then the solution is not to simply just say, I want to hire somebody based on their gender, just the other gender. It's the same exact symptom.
You would rather if they just said, we're looking for an editor, women are encouraged to apply. Meaning we know that naturally we get 90% of the submissions are from men. And it's, hey, I can do it. This is my name. Here's my number. That's it. And they've noticed that women are not applying in near as flock of numbers. And this was their way of saying, we'd like to see what women can do. Women have a touch that men don't. I don't know. Like they include their resume.
I'll give you a perfect example. Can you ideally like to find a woman for that role? Absolutely. But Gratwick Productions has been searching for certain executive roles to finish up and fill.
Women are encouraged to apply.
Would it be great for one of those roles to be filled by a strong, smart, professional woman that wants the role? Absolutely. But I would be spiting myself, same as I would the other way, if I specifically said I'm looking for women, or women are encouraged to imply there, rather than just say I'm looking for the best executive that applies for the position. Like, your gender is irrelevant to your qualifications. I want the best person for that.
That might be the best way to say it. Gender irrelevant, looking for an editor. That says right off the bat, I'm open to if you're a woman or a man. I'm not going to assume because you're a woman, you can't do what a man has done, which I've traditionally always hired.
I just don't think we can move forward as a society to a position where you're not ultimately building resentment on a side, whether it's a different side than has traditionally been building resentment or not. As soon as you're still giving favors based on gender, race, color, sexual orientation, all of those things, you're still creating a resentment factor that is going to have repercussions over an extended period of time. You can't truly be equal without people being treated equally.
So you're saying it's okay for you to actually want one thing or the other, just don't tell everyone.
No, I'm saying that there's nothing that we can't get inside your mind and pull that out. I'm just saying I think it's absolutely offensive and prohibitive to any kind of forward progress to think that forward progress is saying, instead of being biased towards men, we're now biased in favor of women. It's
hurtful?
It's not hurtful. I'm not saying this because I'm a man. I'm saying it because, let me give a simpler example.
I'm smiling, but I'm smiling because, I mean,
okay. If it's wrong to squish beetles because you believe you're killing a life, then it's wrong to squish spiders. Just because the spider's ugly doesn't mean that suddenly beetles have more value over spiders. And if you think it's okay to squish spiders but not okay to squish beetles, or it's okay to squish beetles and not spiders, it's the same thing. They're both insects, and you're discriminating on them based on their breed of insect. I know this is like a ridiculous example, but the point of the matter is, if something is slanted in the favor of one side over the other, slanting it in the favor of the other side over the other one is the same thing. It's just a mirror image. Like what? Like this feels like it should be common sense to me, but I see that coming in that scenario, and it's just going to bring us eventually, even if it takes 100 years, we're going to be right back in the situation.
What if a company just doesn't want to take the chance anymore
of discriminating?
No,
they shouldn't say a preference of gender.
Okay. What if companies are tired of the sexual harassment issues, and the best way to do it is to take away... No, the opposite.
Either club is bad. Like, really?
But what if that's the reason why? Is they've had issues.
That's
they've
not an
had
acceptable
complaints.
reason.
They've had lawsuits that they've had to pay out. They no longer want to hire men because men don't know how to behave.
Try and
Are you not allowed to use that as a reason?
Absolutely not. You can't say we don't hire men here because 2% of men rape women and we've got women that work here. That's absurd. That is absolutely...
They can't claim that as a safety protocol.
No. That would be like a man saying, oh, we only hire men here because a certain percentage of women, when they're on their period, they get really moody and irrational, and we just don't want to deal with that either. Like, that's completely ridiculous, a bias based on gender and a small percentage.
I believe that might have been one of the excuses given in the past, too.
You're punishing a large segment of the population because a small percentage of the population cannot control themselves. That's what law is for.
Okay, so there was an article recently in the news about that, or I saw on Twitter, about the lady who is now going around doing public speeches to different colleges and their sports programs, who, when she went to college, she had been gang raped, and she brought it to the police, she brought it to the campus, and the DA convinced her to just go ahead and let her drop it even though they had a full-on case. The coach only suspended the players for one game. And it became a thing that over the next 16 years, it had been on her mind, and she actually met with him and talked about it. But when she goes to her speeches, like, he had her go to his own team in front of him, and she explained what had happened to her, why she felt the way she did, why she was so angry about everything, and that even as a victim, she understands that there is, out of the entire world, 10% of the entire male population that do bad things. The other 90% are not bad. They aren't to be blamed for everything that the other 10% have done. But in order for us to be able to move past that, to stop that much violence, it isn't up to the women to keep trying to fight it. Because as you've proven, it doesn't matter. The 10% will still do it. It's up to the other 90% to stop them.
I would say,
and that way, if we don't want it to be an issue where women can't say, I feel unsafe, this has happened in the past, you're a liability for our insurance, and people just won't frickin' work with you anymore, so we're losing half of our talent already by just even letting a man around, then maybe the other 90% really need to find the scumbags and just evolution it out.
I would say this about all of the things related to this type of predatory behavior. The enabler culture is absolutely where you're going to get the change. You want to change the predatory nature of people in society? Go after the people that are profiting off of protecting them. Or the people that turn the other cheek and look the other way and allowed it to continue for years and years because they didn't want the mud on their hands of having to deal with it once they found out about it. There's so many people that allow these things to happen and continue happening that are directly related to it because they don't want to be the collateral damage or they don't want to freaking lose the gravy train that's piping through there. And until these people are legally held accountable for turning the other cheek, there's always going to be fucking predators that are protected. And all of these enablers get to walk away scot-clean because there's no blood on their hands. They didn't do anything. It to me is the linchpin in true profound cultural change, is getting to a mindset where it's not okay to turn the other cheek. It's not
where you're an accessory.
Yes, exactly.
You're held legally responsible because you might not have condemned it, but you didn't. You kind of condoned it, didn't you?
At the level of some of these predators that have been exposed, the amount of infrastructure that it takes. Jeffrey Epstein is a key person. The amount of people that are on his flight logs, the amount of women that he surrounded himself with that helped groom these girls, bring these girls to him, make these girls feel safe. All of these people that played parts in knowing what was going on and that they were complicit. They're 100% complicit, and he can't do it without them. I could go on that subject for.
Okay, so we have different stances on it. A little bit different stances, but
I think they're pretty similar.
Similar, but a little spinning.
So next bullet blitz, is it mine or yours?
It is mine.
Okay.
Mine. Yesterday in Southeast Houston, a 1,000-pound tiger was found inside an abandoned home. A couple people went in the abandoned house. Texas man went into an abandoned house in Southeast Houston today and discovered, when he was going to smoke his weed, that a live tiger was left in a cage in the abandoned house. A little confused, worrying he might be hallucinating, he still called 311.
Again, what kind of weed are you smoking where you think hallucination is a possible side effect?
I'm going to say it's in a state that it's apparently not medically legal, so he's not allowed to, so maybe he doesn't do it enough.
It needs to be laced for hallucinations to happen, let alone a 1,000-pound tiger you think you're seeing, really?
In a cage, inside an abandoned house. But the police came, and animal welfare came, and they had to use a tow truck to get the cage out of the house because they obviously couldn't move the damn animal. They had to tranquilize it and wait for it to get out of there and get safely to anywhere.
I just want video of the middle of the night when this tiger was brought into this house. Because that's the only way it went down.
That actually leads to my question.
It had to go down the cloak of night.
So I'm not so worried about the guy who was in the abandoned house smoking weed. Not so worried about the tow truck part. I want to know, what about the people who used to live in that house? First of all, you had an illegal animal. Second of all, you abandoned your animal. Who does that?
People that can't get a 1,000-pound tiger out again?
You abandoned your animal!
What was the motive? And do we know if this was
I don't care if Bear weighs 1,000 pounds. I'm not leaving Bear.
Do we know if this was a luxury neighborhood or like a
from the look
neighborhood?
of the video, it looked like it could have been anywhere. Like anywhere, middle America, not a nice suburb, but
like
not.
If it's a rich person, then maybe they were a drug dealer and they thought they were Scarface and wanted that. But like if it's an average
You thought it was like the Alligator Man?
What do you need a freaking tiger for? Where did you get a tiger from? Is more the question.
Do you know how sad that is for that animal? Like all alone in a cage. In a cage, no less. You didn't even let it out of the house, so it could just roam the house. It
ain't gonna stay in the house.
Well, that's sad. So I kind of think the former owners, there should be paperwork somewhere in the city on who owned that house before, and they should be found, and they should be put in jail. Because that is awful to do to an animal.
I want to make a TV show.
Awful to do to a person.
Owners.
Awful. Your turn.
My final bullet blitz of the episode is California finally cut its losses on the bullet train.
Bullet train.
As I like to call it, the bullet train to the past. Now that we are saving $77 billion in bloated funding that was never going to exist, what should we spend it on?
$77 billion. We had that money?
No. That's how much the budget had inflated to. And, oh, by the way, the latest timeline was it was going to be completed in 2033 if there was no more delays. Mind you, it took 6 years to build the Transcontinental Railroad. We're talking about San Francisco to LA. 600 miles of track, $77 billion in 2033. Anyone that follows my Facebook page will know I have ranted about this train since the day I arrived in California. Not only has it been obsolete for a decade, but by the time 2033 comes around, it'll be obsolete 5 times over. The max speed of this train was going to be 220 miles an hour. Not even a month after they announced that we're going to build this train, Elon Musk gave away for free the blueprints to the bullet tube, the Hyperloop, that would go 600 miles an hour, have a fraction of the footprint freaking ecologically, and it would cost 1/10 of the price. Yet California kept trying to ramrod through this bullet train. Luckily, the Jerry Brown crazy train derailed last election, and we put this bad boy to bed. What do you want to do with the money?
I like the other option that Elon Musk gave. What's wrong with that one? Can't we just...
A Hyperloop? Absolutely. That's what we need.
That would be good. Fixing the roads that we have currently.
That is what some politicians have brought up that should have been done instead of this corrupted plan from the get-go.
I kind of think the infrastructure of the roads, especially since I think you've mentioned it before, but there should be a class action suit of every driver who is losing their suspension and their axles and their rods and their struts and everything dealing with their car when you deal with these roads that are insane with potholes. Or just decide they're no longer cement.
Because these
or these humps, these bumps and humps, and soon to be knocking out every bit of your engine on your car. That
how these people
there
drive
is no policy of how big it is.
Vehicles at 2 inches off the ground without destroying the bottoms. I have no idea.
And
you want to know what I want to spend the money on?
What?
Traffic light sensors. So you know when the other direction has a green light, yet there's no freaking cars coming, but the other direction is backed up a mile long, the light would automatically switch back to the traffic that's backed up. This is 2019. Why do we not have traffic light sensors?
I think that's a good one. I like that. That would definitely help things along a little bit. Side streets don't always need a full 30 seconds when there's absolutely no one there. But during rush hour, it makes a huge difference between lights. Huge.
Do you want to get people from LA to San Francisco a whole lot faster? Traffic light sensors.
There you go.
Dear, do you have another bullet blitz?
Nope.
We're done?
We are done.
All right. I've got a couple little things to pimp out here.
Whoa. Okie dokie.
Silver Padilla will be joining us next week from Esports Labs. He will be in the box. Talking about some esports tournaments and Apex Legends. We're building a squad together.
Have you guys started playing it? Have you?
Oh, we're gonna talk business as soon as Gratcast is over while we're playing Apex Legends. And also, this Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific Time, Max's Fight Club will be back.
And why wasn't it on last Friday?
It wasn't on last Friday because Apex Legends dropped and took all of the attention, and everybody was playing Apex Legends, which ultimately got me to, I'm like, why is everybody playing this game? And I had to install it, and I was like, oh, this game's pretty fun. We gotta run some tournaments.
It's pretty fun. From what I've heard, he's playing with 8-year-olds.
No, 8-year-olds pop in from time to time because they spill over from Fortnite, and then they yell at you because you don't just run through gunfire to try and revive them. Listen, bro, I gotta look out for myself first if I'm gonna save you. That's kind of how it goes. You'll learn that when you hit 10.
So, Silver's gonna be on next week. March 4th, we're gonna have Kash Hovey. Yeah. John will be back next week, or at least he should be.
Next week. Yeah.
Yes, I will be behind the board again, everyone. Working a little magic, talking to you guys on the comments section. Thank you, Siobhan. Thank you, Kyle, for popping in. Thank you, Josh, for saying hello. Hopefully, anyone who watches this later, you will check us out on Discord to talk to us. Go to discord.me/Gratwick. Right there, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I just want to say to Andrea, thank you for 10 wonderful years and going down this journey with me. I love you, and I'd like to give you a kiss down the show.
Ooh, are we allowed to do that? I don't know. Mwah.
Gratcast out.
We're out. End credits. Thank you, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day.